Let's go through the Quangle Wangle's hat, stanza by stanza. This is a fun and imaginative poem by Edward Lear, known for his nonsense verse and playful language. Stanza 1. On the top of the Crumpetty Tree the Quangle Wangle sat, but his face you could not see on account of his beaver hat. Explanation. There's a strange creature called the Quangle Wangle sitting on top of a tall made-up tree called the Crumpetty Tree. But guess what? You can't see his face because he's wearing a giant beaver hat. Interactive question. Have you ever worn a hat so big it covered your face? Imagine wearing one that huge. Stanza 2. For his hat was 102 feet wide, with ribbons and bibbons on every side, and bells and buttons and loops and lace, so that nobody ever could see the face of the Quangle Wangle Quee. Explanation. This hat is enormous, 102 feet wide. It's decorated with ribbons, buttons, lace, and so many things that it completely hides the Quangle Wangle's face. This is a silly and fun exaggeration. Lear is painting a picture of something impossible but amusing. Stanza 3. The Quangle Wangle said to himself on the Crumpetty Tree, "Jam and jelly and bread are the best of food for me." Explanation. The Quangle Wangle talks to himself and says he loves eating jam, jelly, and bread. Sounds yummy, right? He seems happy with simple things. Interactive question. What's your favorite snack? Would you live in a tree and eat jam all day? Stanza 4. But the longer I live on this Crumpetty Tree, the plainer than ever it seems to me that very few people come this way, and that life on the whole is far from gay, said the Quangle Wangle Quee. Explanation. Now the Quangle Wangle is feeling lonely. Not many people visit the tree, and he says that life doesn't feel cheerful. Note, in Old English, gay meant happy. So even though he has jam and jelly, he's missing friends and company. Stanza 5. But there came to the Crumpetty Tree Mr. and Mrs. Canary, and they said, "Did you ever see any spot so charmingly airy?" Explanation. Now, some company finally arrives. A pair of birds, Mr. and Mrs. Canary, fly to the Crumpetty Tree. They say the place is lovely and breezy. Things are starting to get more cheerful. Stanza 6. May we build a nest on your lovely hat? Mr. Quangle Wangle, grant us that. Oh, please let us come and build a nest of whatever material suits you best, Mr. Quangle Wangle Quee. Explanation. The canaries politely ask to build a nest on his huge hat. They're very respectful and ask permission. This shows how others start to see the hat as a home. Interactive question. If you had a giant hat, what kind of animals would you let live on it? Stanza 7. And besides, to the Crumpetty Tree came the stork, the duck, and the owl, the snail, and the bumblebee, the frog, and the Fimble Fowl. Explanation. Here come even more animals to the Crumpetty Tree: birds, bugs, and even a funny imaginary bird called the Fimble Fowl. The hat is becoming a neighborhood. Stanza 8. The Fimble Fowl with a corkscrew leg, and all of them said, "We humbly beg, we may build our homes on your lovely hat. Mr. Quangle Wangle, grant us that. Mr. Quangle Wangle Quee." Explanation. All the creatures politely ask to live on his hat, just like the canaries did. Even the Fimble Fowl, a silly creature with a twisted leg, wants to join in. Everyone loves the hat now. Stanza 9. And the golden grouse came there, and the pobble who has no toes, and the small Olympian bear. Explanation. More nonsense characters arrive like the pobble with no toes, another Lear invention, and an Olympian bear. Lear loves filling his world with weird and wonderful creatures. Stanza 10. And the dong with a luminous nose, and the Blue Baboon who played the flute, and the Orient calf from the land of Toot, and the Attry squash, and the Bisky bat all came and built on the lovely hat of the Quangle Wangle Quee. Explanation. Now it's a whole fantasy town on his hat. These are totally made-up creatures with funny names and strange features. The dong has a glowing nose, the baboon plays the flute, and more. The hat is now like a magical village in the sky. Final stanza. And the Quangle Wangle said to himself on the Crumpetty Tree, "When all these creatures move, what a wonderful noise there'll be." Explanation. Now the Quangle Wangle is no longer lonely. He imagines how joyful and noisy the hat will be with all the creatures living there. A place full of life, fun, and friendship. Final thoughts. This poem is fun, creative, and a little bit silly, but it has a sweet message. Even the loneliest places can become joyful when shared with friends. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, Dilla Buddies.